Read all the stories at homeoffice.studio and watch all the videos to get an exceptionally advanced, entertaining education. Greetings. So I'm trying to make another recording here, another video. What I want to make a video about is Kontact, which is one of my favorite KDE applications, even though I haven't even been using it recently because I've just been doing everything, individually. What this does is kind of gathers it's the main thing it does is read, it's an email reader. And you can put multiple email addresses in here, and you could, and it's got your contacts and your, calendar and the to-do lists and things like that. You could get your feeds in there. You could write a journal in there, and it's just kind of a central information management system, And the main thing I want to talk about is that I want to see added to it is the Falcon browser, and it would be on this list right here of all your mail, contacts, calendar, to-do list, feeds, journal, pop-up notes, Falcon, or maybe it would just say, browser, but it would be the Falcon browser, which is the KDE browser, the new one anyway. And then you could also add Konsole and Kate right here. So you could open each one of those tools in this window right here, the big window. That's what I would like to see, because it would be kind of like what I'm trying to go towards is Emacs has Emacs, what is it, Emacs, they have things like that where you can it's kind of like an all-in-one application. You open it up and you just basically work in that one application all day long, and you can switch back and forth between your applications, and I don't know if this is a good idea because that's what KDE Plasma is. I do that with KDE Plasma, and I got my whole system all set up, and I got my 4 desktops that I work in down here on the panel, and I can click on there and go over to my browser. I always usually have that on desktop number 1. There's Kontact, and then here's Falcon. It's a very basic, it doesn't have a lot of features. Do they have it looks like they still haven't added in a developer tools section, which would be really nice if we could get some developer tools in here. And and then Konsole is if you open that up, let's say, and just kind of let you see that's under here. No, it's not. There's KDevelop. That's like the IDE. That's the KDE IDE, but you could add that in there. I suppose, I guess there's no reason. I don't know if, because I don't think it would open this up in there unless you actually picked it, unless you actually click on it and open it inside there. So it's not like Kontact would open this up every time you open Kontact, is what I'm getting at. So it's not going to make Kontact this big, huge, gigantic program that's overloading your computer. And this is the KDE developer, integrated development environment, and it's a pretty powerful one. It's just like all the others. It probably not exactly perfect as all as the other ones are. It's as far as well developed. Because some of them other ones like Krusader has, that's their business, that's their main product, and so they put billions of dollars into it. It's a private company, corporation, and they put billions of dollars in to develop it. Well, KDE is kind of a free and open source version of Qt, and the KDevelop is the IDE for it. Instead of Qt Creator, which is the Qt IDE, you can use KDeveloper, which is a pretty good tool, and you can use it to program and write programs. You could create all kinds of different programs using it. The other thing what I wanted to look at was it would be down here in Tools, or maybe System. There it is, right there. I guess I got that down here on my panel. I don't know what I did. So see, and I've got this set up. It's a transparent. That's why, and it's got something in the background. So, but this is Konsole, and it's basically a terminal. I can do sudo pkcon update. Works just fine. And so you can use Konsole, and it would be really nice if you could just open this up. Maybe it wouldn't have all this, it wouldn't, but it would open up in this window right here. And you could use it for that. And then the other one I would like to open up in here is Kate. And this is your text editor, which is not, it's kind of, you can do a lot of programming in your text editor. You can, edit your files and stuff in Kate. But it's not an integrated development environment like KDevelop is. So it's kind of like, but those two tools, I think they could probably work in this too. And then you just set this up, and it'd have to be fast and smooth and not, but if you could do that, I think this KDE Kontact would be like the really cool, man. And so I don't know, that's what I want to see. Is get this thing going. I mean, right now, I just my main tool right now is I use Dissenter on here. I've kind of gone back to using Brave, and Dissenter is kind of a spin-off of Brave. It's just part of Brave, a version of Brave. But it's all the people that were been kicked off of Google and places like that have, they've created their own alternative to Google, and that's what Brave is, and so it's privacy. They don't sell your private information. They don't record what you're searching for and stuff like that, and that's why I use it, and I like it. It's pretty cool. But if I was going to do it in that Kontact, I would probably use the Falcon. And I hope KDE respects our privacy and doesn't sell our, and doesn't do all this, control freak business. We don't need to have our internet censored or anything like that. I can censor, and I don't agree with everything people write. Some of the stuff I see on the internet I don't like, and I go, man, what are they putting crap like that on there? Okay, but I'd rather have to deal with the crap on there than have a big corporation telling me what I can read and what I can say. And, it's better, and there's going to have, of course, there's going to be limits to that. You can't be encouraging people to commit crimes or anything like that. It's still a crime, whether it's on the internet or anywhere else. But just having different political opinions and things like that, no. There's no way that it should be allowed to be censored. And so, it's like, I think that KDE is a pretty good system. It's made in Europe, which, I like the United States. It's my favorite country and everything like that, but it's, the reason I like KDE is because it's easy to learn. If you want to use the other ones, like even GNOME, which is another, X11 desktop environment, which is the American version. The main problem with it is you kind of have to know a little bit more about what you're doing. You know, you have to know how to write commands on the command line to find things, because it's not like KDE where it's a graphical, everything is graphical. Although GNOME is a graphical desktop too, but I don't know, it's just different, you know. And I guess the main reason, last time I tried it, it was looking pretty good and it was working great and everything like that. And then I read the user agreement and it was a whole bunch of crap about, you know, social justice warrior lies that I don't agree to that. And so I hope and pray that KDE doesn't ever fall into that, you know, because the control freaks are trying to take over the world, and we got to stop them. They're gangs and we got to stop it, man. We got to have freedom, equality, and justice for all people everywhere on planet Earth. You know, it's not okay to say we're going to have the free world and then the rest of the world, because that doesn't work. Because then the totalitarianism festers overseas, and then until it gets real strong, and now we're having to deal with it again. The control freaks want to control everything, and now they got control of the United States even. And you know, we got to fix that, man, and have freedom, equality, and justice for all. You know, and God makes the rules. There's rules that everybody has to follow. I'm not talking about anarchy. I don't want anarchy. I just want freedom, equality, and justice for all. Freedom is lawful, not lawless. Wild is lawless. Freedom is lawful. And I like freedom, and you know, and there's going to be rules that everybody has to follow, and everybody knows what the rules are, because they'll learn it in grade school, you know, in high school and everywhere, and it's just kind of, you know, and it'll be, you know, and there'll be some system, you know, a way of you know, legislation, you know, the government, you know, it'll be the United Nations is going to be the civilizations is coming up next. Anyway, I got off on the weird tangent there, but I just want to see Kontact improved a lot. I figured out when I first turned this on today, it's been a long time since I even turned it on. And when I turned it on, it was all the unread emails in here were like this red color that I could barely see. And you know, and so I had to figure out how to change that color. They kind of look like this. I've already fixed it, you know, so you can see it now and read it. When I first turned it on, you could read it, but just barely. You had to like get really close and read it. And so what I did was I went in here to settings and configure Kontact, and then I went down to appearance under mail, appearance, colors, and I clicked on this twice, and this little color thing came up, and I could set the color. And you know, it was way down here, and it was also this one was way down here, so it was very dark, which didn't show up on this dark black background at all. So, but I got it. I like that color that I got it now, so I'm not going to mess with it. But that's how you fix that, just in case you ever run into that problem, you know, because this is not the, you know, I've gotten into using these dark themes. Now I don't like the light themes. You know, I used light themes for years, you know, just basically the normal, you know, standard KDE colors, you know, and I would use them, you know, and then one day I tried out a dark theme, and I kind of, now I don't like anything other than dark themes. So that's interesting. It has to do with the light, blinding light of the screen, and the more you can lessen that, the more comfortable it is. And so, yeah, it's you know, and I'm liking this. It looks okay. Yeah, I don't know. I could tweak it or whatever. You could pretty much control everything in here, as you could see. You know, there's colors, You got all these different colors. See, I changed these two too because they were pure black, and I don't even know what they are. But I turned them to gray because I don't want them. Of course, hopefully, whatever they're doing is not up here, but I just didn't want them to be, black on a black background. It is not obviously not going to be visible. And I mean, you can change everything else too. You can change this, the layout, the messages, the fonts. You can change your fonts, and and you can get in here and configure Kontact pretty much any way you want to. And you can also do all the other applications, like your calendar. You could use your calendar, could be a really good one to work on. See, here's your calendar, and you can set this up and start using this to schedule your time and keep. I've been thinking a lot about this, making plans. I finally started making documents on I'm using Open Office. I didn't use Krita. I didn't use Calligra. I used Open Office sheets, Open Office sheets, to start making expenses, both a separate sheet for personal expenses and business, expenses. And then I did one for income, which right now my job is my only income. Hopefully one day this website will make some money, but right now I don't even have any way for anybody to buy anything on the website because I kind of been focused on the content and trying to get the content, and so you can do all kinds of things with this. You got your feeds, you got your to-do list, you can make little notes about what you want to do, and a journal is, you can just write journal, notes, or kind of like a diary, I guess. Your feeds are, I had a bunch of feed, did not, it's do not restore. This is all your feeds, and I believe you can make this bigger so you can actually read it. I had this set up before where I have a whole bunch. See, you see that last time I opened that one, I got 4,499. I just never have really gotten into feeds. I know a lot of people, computer programmers, like these things and they use them all the time. They get, KDE apps, KDE.news. I got Debian is the other one I got. I got KDE and Debian on here. And all the little news about those are in here. And so you can set all that up any way you want. And this is your little, open this and read the news for the day, every day or whatever, but I want to see, and I'm asking people, programmers that are a lot smarter than me, because I wouldn't be able to do this. I don't have this. What you do is you go to GitHub to the, you have to look it up and figure out where the KDE is and get this particular application and clone it into your own local development environment, and then use KDevelop to work on it and add. I would do Falcon and Kate, or I'd probably do Kate and Falcon, Kate and Kontact, Kate and Konsole, and then Falcon. Whatever, it doesn't really matter what order they're in. But I would do those three and add those three programs into this Kontact and make it so it's really fast too, because I don't want to slow it down or anything like that. Make it so it's really very powerful tool. Make it so you can connect. Also put KDE Connect into this. KDE Connect is how you can connect your phones to your Kontact, to your KDE. It's not connected to Kontact. It's connected to KDE desktop, Plasma. But what I'm saying is connect all that into Kontact and make Kontact your central, your personal information management and communication center. And then you could just whenever you start your computer, you start up Kontact, and you can do whatever you want. You can go online. You can go work on Konsole. You can do everything. And I don't know if it's because the issue is I've got with KDE Plasma, this is my KDE Plasma, and I got simple screen recorder in here, but this is I got 4 different desktops that I could switch back and forth to, and each one of them has a different application on it. This one's got Kontact, this one's got Dissenter, and this one's got Falcon, and I could open up any one of the other ones, This is going to be one right here that I learn how to use this tool. This is a very powerful tool that you can use you could create an application like this with KDevelop, or you could create Falcon from scratch in KDevelop, things like that. You got to get the programs, like C++ has to be installed in your computer, Python, because I know it uses, KDE uses C++ and JavaScript are the 2 main languages, and QML. QML is the one that makes all this visual stuff. C++ is the one that does all the stuff in the background. Like if you push this button, a whole bunch of programs, run. Okay, and those programs are written in C++. The button is made with QML. And they also use JavaScript. And I'm not exactly sure where the boundaries are between those 3, but I know that those are the 3 languages that KDE is written in. Is C++, QML, and JavaScript. Or maybe it's C++, JavaScript, and QML would be a better way of putting it. And learn those languages and get in there and start working on this stuff and improving it and making KDE a really cool, desktop environment. Make it as fast and efficient as you can. I know a lot of people, there's, the alternative is using these, what they call those, where you don't use X11. I don't think they use X11. They're I can't remember what they call them. Anyway, but they're different, this system. They don't have like a desktop environment. They have something else. And it works fine and it looks cool. It doesn't have all this, this part of it usually. Usually there's just not a shell, a terminal. And you type something into the terminal and that tells the computer what to do. That's the old original way of programming computers. And I've been trying to learn how to do that. And I've learned a lot about how to do it, Konsole, and I use KDE right now. I've been using KDE, it works good. You learn how to write programs. You don't write programs. You learn how to program your computer in the console, and the shell is what you're using. You're using the shell, but the shell is running in the terminal, and the terminal is that is a whole another thing. See, because you can go with console. See, there's Konsole just all by itself. And I don't necessarily, I don't really need all these toolbars. Sometimes I like the toolbars being there, but I do kind of like that deal where they don't have any toolbar at all. It's just a screen and you can type, I'm typing it like that. Here's my 8 21 at HP Envy. That's what I named this computer last time I installed KDE Neon. I had a hard time getting KDE Neon to work. When I first tried it, it was always, it's different than Kubuntu. And but that difference is actually an advantage, because the reason why there's a big difference is because KDE Neon uses the newest stuff. It's a rolling release. It doesn't come out every 6 months. It comes out whenever somebody adds something to the program. It updates it right then. And so it's called a rolling release. And so I'm constantly updating it, which is fine. It just takes a couple seconds. I come in here and pkcon update, sudo pkcon update, and instead of using apt like Kubuntu does, it uses this program called pkcon, and that's the KDE Neon repository, and they keep that up, it's like bleeding edge, and that's a good thing right there. And so every time I installed it, just because it didn't run the way, it was confusing and I didn't like it, and I would always switch back to Kubuntu. Well, this time I put it on here and I really like it, man. It is stable. It's, it's looking great. And it works great. It's KDE, and there's always these little glitches. I don't know. It's how to describe it. There's always a little, the thing about KDE is they're building all these tools all at the same time. Kontact and KMail, all the programs that run inside of Kontact, Kate, Konsole, they're building a whole entire desktop environment all at the same time. Unlike, say, Firefox, where Firefox is really, they got those guys. That's Mozilla they have Thunderbird and Firefox, which is an email client and a web browser. And and I don't use either one of them now. I use Dissenter and Kitty. But I'm thinking about switching back to Konsole, because I've always really liked Konsole, and it seems like it's working pretty darn fast right now. The only reason I switched to Kitty is when Alacrity first came out a year or so ago. I installed it and I used it to install a new system, and I was installing Vim. And when you install Vim, you have to install all the plugins, and it's just a command. You just write this command in and run. And with Konsole, all the plugins, when you update those and when you install Vim in a new system, you have to install those plugins. And so when you use Konsole, it would go ding, 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 and it would just take maybe a few seconds to do it, right? And it would install all the plugins that I've accumulated over the years. And then I tried it with Alacrity, and it just went, and it was done. And it was like, wow, that's very noticeable, difference in speed, because Alacrity runs on the GPU instead of the CPU, and the whole acceleration. I'm not sure what all that is and how they do that, but anyway, and then Kitty is kind of another second version of that, and I've been using that one. Because with Kitty, it's like they got Tmux is almost built into the terminal. And Tmux is the multiplexer, so you can have pages. You can divide the screen into many different sections that are all running different programs. And then you can also have tabs, so you can switch back and forth. You can have one page that's got one tab that has, like, say, 3 different sections. and then you can switch to another tab that has some other different setup and things like that. And and you used to use like Alacrity, and Tmax was like lightning fast, and you could just do it and set it up, and it was beautiful, man. And I really liked it, but it took me a long time to set all that up. And then KDE came out, and it pretty much has Tmux built right into the thing. You don't have to even mess around with Tmux. And I haven't really used that at all. As a matter of fact, it was right about then. Ever since I installed KDE, which is what I've been using all this time lately, I hardly ever even mess around with the terminal anymore, because everything's graphical, and I just do everything on my desktop. This is my little panel down here with all my applications. The main ones I use are, another one I use is one of my favorites lately is one I've been doing a lot of research. I'm not much of an artist and painter. I've been looking at, and this is I'm more of a drawer. I like drawing, my little drawings on the website and everything like that. But this one here is more of a painting tool, this Krita. And it's a cool program. I kind of got it set the way I like it. And I don't even know. I don't know how to make anything. I've been watching a lot of videos about this, and, different. It's a painting tool. So you could make paintings, literal, like mountains and buildings, and people make pictures of people in here that are really, I've seen some drawings of people that are just unbelievable, man. It's like a drawing made with this tool that looks like a picture of a person, like a photograph of the person, and they're just beautiful. And so, but it takes hours, it'd take you 8 hours to draw a picture like that, so, and if you're building pages and pages of content for your website, you don't really want to be spending 8 hours on one picture. That's my problem. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, can I use this? I want to use this tool. I want to learn how to use it. This is the KDE version of Inkscape. It's like Inkscape, Inkscape is another version of, say, this one here kind of specializes in paint colors. It's all about color. You got this, and I've rearranged this, by the way, too. So I watched a video on some professional Krita guy who had his set up like this. So I'm going to try it and see if I like it. So far, I haven't really done anything with it yet, but I will soon, because I'm making content. I'm making a lot of content. Oops. I'm doing pretty good. Mostly I've been using KDE Live. So it's graphics. This one here, I've got a little bit more experience using this one because it's a drawing tool, and you kind of got to get in the habit and learn how to do this and set up. I set mine to millimeters because I think that's what the internet is kind of going towards. Instead of using pixels, or going to the internet. But the first thing you would want to do when you get in here is set this little item, this thing right here, which is your canvas, to the size and shape you want. And it's been so long, and I've done this many times, but right now I don't know how to do it. And you set that up. And it's the same with Krita. You got to do the same thing in Krita. And the one I've been using the most lately is this one right here, KDE Live, where that's what I make these videos with. And it's pretty interesting. The way you do that, you would go in here and open Dolphin, is what I'm using here. You might want to have that in Kontact too. You might want to have Dolphin in Kontact too. It's just for an example. Let's go. You can use this. I wonder why I got two of those in there. On this one, you just click on that and then it's easy. There's always a warning. Sometimes it says it wants you to change formats, but it always, oh man, don't tell me. Okay, good. What was I trying to do? I was doing this. And then let's do, I don't know. I'm working on getting these organized, by the way, and I've got a little plan about this. See, this 722, this is a new thing. I signed up for this iStock, and it gets me some pretty cool stuff that I can, videos and stuff that I can use in these videos. And this is each month. So I got the iStock page. And then I got a Krita page, so I'll put all my Kritas in here by the month. And then I'll put all my, what was the other one? Inkscape drawings in here. And that way, every time I make a video, which my videos are in here, Home Office Studio. And let's just do one of these. Because it's just an example.
Read all the stories.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Put this over here. Show. Uh-oh. I wonder what that was all about. So then you take this and you put it down here. Then you take this and you put it right there. No, let's not do that. Let's put this one over here. Let's put this one right here. And then you can put more stuff up here, and and then it always plays right here.
Read all the stories.
And I rearranged all this too, so.
Watch all the videos to get an exceptionally advanced, entertaining education.
And you can have talking and everything, kind of a bunch of stuff like that, and and layer things, one thing over another, and I could have a picture of me down here in the corner talking, like I do on my videos sometimes, and you just make videos, and you make your drawings in Inkscape, and your paintings in Krita. And you can use GIMP for some of your stuff too. You can make stuff in GIMP with your photographs and everything, and then you use them in here, and you make videos and you make content, and you post it on your website. And that's what I'm doing. It's a very this is here I am getting some emails. So, and that's what I do. It's very interesting telling stuff, and I like it, man. It's fun. It's an incredibly complex puzzle, that I'm working on all the time. This is really all I do anymore, man. I'm 62 years old. I don't have much of a social life. My family, they live in Colorado, and I'm in Washington, so I'm kind of out here all by myself. I got a job. It's a pretty decent job. I really like it because I'm helping people like me, just helping. And but I got a lot of time to work on my website now, and I'm really liking that. And I'm trying to get into, the one thing I'm working on right now is getting into, I want to, this. I want to get this organized. I got 2 books that are kind of ready. You know, they're written, but they're not finished. I need to finish them, both of them. I need to get both of those books finished. I'd like to get this done by the end of the year. We're coming up on 8/22, which means I really need to get going, and I need to get both of those books finished and published, which brings up another program that you can use that is for your website content. I believe that's graphics. Yeah, there it is. Scribus is your desktop publishing application, and this program here is actually both Krita and Scribus are both written in QML. You know, they're KDE. I don't think Scribus has anything to do with KDE, but it's written in Qt. It's written in Qt rather than the alternative is GTK, which is what GNOME and everything is written in. And what this is basically, you can set up. Wow, this is it's already. That's not the front page, I don't think, is it? Okay, yeah. Okay, and then you just set it up. What size you want the print in, and all the your settings, and then you start. We'll just see what happens, and then what you do is you put the content in these lines right here, and it kind of connects to the next page. And one day I'll do a video about how to do that. Right now it's been a long time since I used it. I actually printed that book and got it published on lulu.com. And then after I read it, I go, you know what? This is not right. It's not done. And so I pulled it down. And I need to redo that. It's mostly rearranging the chapters, but I need to maybe do a lot more editing and on that book. And then the other book is more about personal recovery. The one is about home office, holistic home office, and then the other one is more about just personal development. And write those 2 books and get them published. And then I want to do a merchandise store. Use one of these stores to make so you can get a holistic home office T-shirt or a holistic home office coffee mug. And that's the plan. That's my plan going forward. I was just writing about that today. And that's what I'm recommending. I'm telling you this story because you could do the same thing. Whatever your interest is, you could write a website about that and create content, and because everybody's going to have different interests, and but you got to get this stuff organized because it gets really cluttered really fast. And I figure the best solution is going to be using dates, months. I think it's going to be iStock is you get 25 pictures a month. It's expensive. That is one of the most expensive things I've got. It's way more expensive than my website, but what I'm getting for it is really cool, which is all them little short videos, and they're professional quality videos compared to the ones I make. They're pretty, they're okay. I mean, I make some fairly decent ones, but what they're making is those, and it can apply to the topic that I'm writing about. Most of my drawings, I don't know how to draw a picture of the brain or anything like that. Because you could use Inkscape to make those pictures for sure, but I don't know how to do that. So what I'm doing, I'm writing the stories and making the videos. KDE and Live are the 2 main things I'm doing. My website is WordPress. It's hosted on Bluehost. Another thing I'm trying to do right now is change the theme on the website. It looks okay. I like it, the website, the way it is, but it's like starting to get clogged up. Like for some reason, I got behind on my bills, and so when I didn't pay the bill for Yoast SEO, and I paid it since then, but it hasn't automatically turned back on, and so I haven't really tried to figure that out. Eventually I need to figure that out. Yoast is my search engine optimization tool, and it kind of helps me, it puts a whole bunch of stuff down here that I can fill out to make the website more attractive on the search engines and stuff like that. And then I need to get on right now I'm posting my videos on Rumble, pretty much only Rumble. I was doing YouTube and some other ones, a couple small ones, but I think I need to go back to doing on YouTube too, and have a full like immediate, like promotion system. How am I going to promote this and draw traffic? Because I have some good content. The website's got plenty of content. I can always add more, but it's got plenty of content. So what I need to work on right now is attracting traffic. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'll keep using Rumble will still be my main, where my channel is. But I'll probably create a YouTube channel, because I already have a YouTube channel, so I'll probably start working on that again. I may even start a Facebook channel. I mean, I stopped using Facebook years ago because I don't like those. Google and Facebook I don't really like either one of them, man. But Google is they are the main. That's where most everybody is. That's the only thing about them. I just don't like all their social justice warrior crap. I think that's evil. It's not justice. It doesn't have anything to do with justice. It's a bunch of bullies, beating, terrorizing people for if they don't agree with what you're saying or doing. They terrorize people. They're bullies, and we need to fix that as fast as we can. And everybody needs to love and respect each other, and everybody, we don't have to agree with everybody or anything like that. But so anyway, I'm just working on my website, and I just was sitting here thinking, what am I going to do? I'm on my time off. It's time to make a video, and I was going to make a video about Kontact, but it's turned out to be a much more holistic story about just home office and using these computers and your tools, using KDE and Linux to build a really cool personal cloud of artificial intelligence. And you manage it. And KDE and Linux and KDE are the dashboard that you use to manage, and you configure it and you manage it. Your personal cloud of artificial intelligence. You learn how to do that and learn how to use the resources that are on the internet, because your personal dashboard is part of it, but the cloud of artificial intelligence is global cloud of artificial intelligence, and you use your browser to search for the information. You use that information, you harness that information, and then you create something value. You add value to that. And that's what I'm trying to teach people to do. That's what I'm trying to teach you to do. That's what I'm trying to do. And it's fun, man. I like it. It's one little thing I noticed one day. I made a video all in one day, and it turned out to be a pretty good video. But one thing I learned is be careful about carpal tunnel syndrome. Make sure you get exercise, do your qigong, and just make because get your exercise every day and take care of yourself, eat right. I got some, I reordered, there's another expensive thing I ordered is my whatever that stuff is. It's some fruits and vegetables, that comes in capsules that I can eat. Because I don't really eat all that great. I never have liked cooking. My mom was a really good cook, so I never did learn how to cook because she did all the cooking. And so I'm not much of a cook, and so I figured, well, maybe I better eat these because, I'm starting to feel my age a little bit, and I thought, and it's called the Balance of Nature, in these little capsules with fruit and vegetables, fruits in one of them and vegetables in another one. So, and I take those and I do qigong, and I wish I did that qigong every day, but I don't do it every day. It's just, that's boring. I want to get on here and I want to start working on that, and I'm either watching videos, somebody else's content, or creating content. I'm either, that's what I do. I'm a computer geek, man. I probably, in my eyes, I got to take care of my eyes because they get blurry. I'm working on watching this TV screen for hours and hours, or reading books. That's the other thing. I read books hours and hours, and then I get out in the real world and I can't even see, man. I'm going, wow. So take care of yourself, exercise, and jogging is a good way to exercise. Walking is a good way to exercise. Make sure you walk. Don't just try to avoid walking every chance you get. Don't think about that. Be mindful of your health. Your nutrition is one of the most important things. I always say there's like 4 dimensions of holistic health, and that is the most important one is faith. Your faith, whatever you believe in God. Believe in God, submission to God is the inner essence of every true religion. And family is the next most important thing. And take care of your family and nurture those relationships with every member of your family. Make sure everybody in your family is okay and safe and healthy. And take care of your family. And then there's nutrition and exercise is the next one, and that's take care. Nutrition is the most important thing. You are what you eat, and you got to eat healthy food and natural whole food. If you eat lots of natural whole food, you won't be so hungry for all the garbage, the sugar and salt and just poison. Sugar and salt are micronutrients, they're good for you in small amounts, but anything over that is poison, And then there's your professional career, your business, whatever, that part, because everybody has to be productive. Being productive is part of human nature, and if you're not productive, that unproductive people are worthless, useless. It doesn't matter how rich you are or poor, everybody has to be productive and produce, and that there's going to be exceptions for severely handicapped people, but even handicapped people can be productive in small ways, here and there. And so everybody's got to be productive. We need to make it easy for people to be productive. This whole cancel culture is evil. It's just like diabolical. Because productivity, unproductive people, they hurt themselves and everybody around them. And so if you're making it harder for people to be productive, you're just making life miserable for everybody. You're not helping anybody. You're not accomplishing anybody by canceling somebody and getting them kicked off the internet and fired from their jobs and things like that. That's like evil. The people that are doing that. You're the problem. And stop doing that. And we want to make every human being alive on this earth is precious. And we need to help every single human being. And it's the selfish ambition is the dark side of human nature. And every single one of us has that in us, except for Jesus and Baha'u'llah and Buddha and people like that. The manifestations of God are perfect. But all other human beings are not perfect. and we have flaws, and we have selfish ambition. But in order to be spiritual, the way to be spiritual is to let, God makes the rules in my life. And I follow God's rules and follow the laws of God instead of my own selfish ambition. It's not that I don't have self-interest. It's that the divine rule of law has priority over my selfish ambition. And believe me, I'm not perfect at following that. I'm not no perfect person. I'm just saying that's the way it should be. And it can be, but it's not necessarily easy, but you can work on it, and you just keep striving. No matter how many times you fail, you keep striving, keep seeking God, keep asking, seeking God. And submission to God is the inner essence of every true religion. And God reveals this. This is something I just kind of realized here in just the last couple of weeks, is that, because there's natural law, which God creates. All natural law is created by God. God makes the rules. That's what he does. He makes the rules. The universe is evolving according to the natural laws of God, that God created. And then there's this divine rule of law. And it comes through language, and you go through the whole human brain and how the brain creates language, and then we think in our language, and we have voluntary. It causes, that whole part of the brain, the executive decision-making faculty in our brain, makes our response to our instincts and emotions voluntary, which is the very basis of freedom. That's what freedom is. It's the difference between a wild animal and a civilized human being. And civilized human beings follow the rule of law. And the rule of law comes via language. It's in writing. It's always been in writing. That's how it all started. It came in writing. First Moses wrote it down, but before then it was oral. So, because it was oral, that, like Adam and Abraham and Noah, I think they were mostly teaching more orally, vocally. And then Moses started the writing it down. It's kind of similar to Socrates and Plato. Socrates taught his philosophy by speaking, and then his student Plato taught the philosophy by writing it down. And so that was kind of one gradual process of evolution of human consciousness. But then, now it's the writing. And then at first it was, a few people would read the writings, the priests would read the writings and tell everybody else what they said and meant. Okay, and that's the way things were for thousands of years. Civilizations rose and fell, and now it's everybody reads the writings for themselves, and they get the writings, they get the word of God directly from God. And the writings, the manifestation of God. He is who reveals the writings. And they wrote down the writings when he said what he said, and so we know exactly what he said. Baha'u'llah, I believe that Baha'u'llah is the manifestation of God for this time. And he came to unite all the nations and races and religions together into one universal and divine civilization. And those writings, and it was to say, this has been a gradual process, but I just came to this realization about the significance of the writing. How the Bible says, first there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, And I've always thought that meant, besides, it means that Jesus is the Word of God, and that's the most important thing. But also the significance of language. And so when they write down this Word of God and everybody reads it, it changes, it educates human nature, because we're born with this potentiality, the faith is a potential capacity. And everybody has faith, whether they believe it or not, but the the Word of God is what trains our faith to be true and real. Like faith and reason are complementary. Science and religion are complementary. They complement each other. They don't contradict each other. But you gotta, it's just seek the truth, and the truth will set you free. And there is one reality. There's one God, and He created all the religions, all the true religions, the real religions. We all came from the same one God, and He's creating the universe, and Earth is evolving. This global civilization, because this is the context in which you're telling your stories. Is this one global civilization? It's all coming together. It's very prosperous. There's lots of problems, it's a baby, and we've got a lot of problems to solve, and we're pretty good at that. We solve problems, so we'll solve problems. But it's over an hour, so I think I'll go ahead and end this. It's been a really very rambling story. I guess that's kind of not all that unusual for me. That's kind of the kind of stories I tell, but I think I covered some pretty good topics, a wide range of topics. It's like I said, this is a holistic home office system, teaching system, and because I don't want to just talk about one particular part of the holistic home office. I want to talk about the whole thing, your personal health and well-being, your business, your website, your computers, all of it. It's all interesting. How, which one of these tools are you going to like best? Are you going to like Krita or Inkscape or GIMP, or any combination of them, to make really beautiful art in here on your computer. So have fun, and be careful, and peace be with you.